A celebration 100 years in the making took place across the Texas Tech campus last week. Coming up, we'll have all the details on this year's special commemoration of Founders Day.
Some talented Red Raiders had the chance to show off their skills to fellow students during an annual event at the Allen Theater. Find out who won and how you can be the next contestant in the Red Raider Showcase.
And several Texas Tech teams were in action over the weekend, but only one broke more records as they headed into another round of competition. MCTV's Natalie DuPre has the details on another history-making weekend for Red Raider track and field and sports.
This is the MCTV Weekday Update.
Welcome to the Monday edition of the MCTV Weekday Update. I'm Grace Beene.
And I'm Elene Khajishvili. Last Friday, the Texas Tech community celebrated one of the biggest milestones in the university's history.
That's right, Elene. On February 10th, 1923, the Texas legislature officially established Texas Tech University. And last week, students, faculty, staff, and administrators enjoyed several events to commemorate the 100th year of the school's existence. Founders Day festivities kicked off Friday morning with the student celebration at the Sub. Starting at 11 a.m., any Texas Tech student could stop by to get some free food, enjoy music provided by a DJ, and take a selfie in front of a special centennial photo op. The first 1,000 students in attendance also had the chance to grab a centennial coin minted for the occasion. Along with all the free fun, Texas Tech President Lawrence Skubanek also took time to personally meet and greet each student who stopped by the celebration.
The chance to visit and meet with these students, I can't tell you how grateful I am for that. It reminds you of why we're here.
The student celebration continued until 2 p.m. on Friday afternoon, with thousands of Red Raiders having the chance to be a part of Texas Tech history.
Last week's Founders Day event continued later Friday afternoon, giving faculty and staff members a chance to celebrate and learn more about the university's history. On Friday, the Texas Tech Museum closed its doors to the general public and reopened at 3 p.m. to Texas Tech employees for the second celebration of the day. Attendees had the chance to tour the museum's centennial exhibition, which went on display back in December. The event also featured free snacks and drinks, including a popcorn bar and a centennial cake. Friday's events were a continuation of the centennial celebration, which officially kicked off during December's Carol of Lights ceremony. But the planning for all of the festivities started long before this year.
It's a committee of approximately 12 people, and we started the committee maybe 3 or 4 years ago. And so it's been a long process of planning and making sure that we made all the events ones that people would remember.
The Texas Tech Museum stayed open until 5 p.m. on Friday for the Founders Day event, and the facility reopened to the public over the weekend.
Speaking of the weekend, Founders Day may have officially taken place on February 10th, but a special one-of-a-kind video presentation gave anyone from the local community the chance to be a part of the celebration all weekend long. On Friday, Saturday, and Sunday night, Texas Tech showcased a special 3D projection on the outside of the administration building. Projectors covered the north side of the iconic architecture with memorable imagery, video, and graphics. The video presentation lasted 6 minutes and repeated from 7 to 10 p.m. with a 10-minute break between each showing. Traffic was closed to Memorial Circle and the Engineering at 6 p.m. each night to accommodate the extra pedestrians walking on campus to enjoy the presentation. The 3D projection was the last official event for Founders Day.
The Texas Tech community is made up of thousands of students, and many of them have skills that go beyond their chosen field of study. Last week, a pre-selected group of talented Red Raiders took the stage with the chance to show off and win prizes. The Student Activities Board hosted the Red Raider Showcase in the Sub Allen Theater on Thursday night. The annual talent show gives several Red Raiders the chance to perform in front of their peers, with a winner named at the end of the night.
And the winner will get typically a big prize, like their books paid for their undergrad career, or like gift cards to various local restaurants, or even a gift card to all the restaurants here on Tech.
This year's contestants were chosen after auditioning for a spot in the final show back in November. This year's show featured 5 performers, including winner Amira Owens.
I was really happy, but I was also like, what? Because I was so scared and nervous. Like, I was trembling on stage, and you know, I've never won anything like this, so it's great.
The next edition of Red Raider Showcase is scheduled for spring of 2024, and auditions will be taking place next fall. For more information on next year's talent show, along with the many other fun and free events on SAP's schedule, just visit sap.ttu.edu. After several days of cold, cloudy and wintry conditions, the South Plains experienced a nice mild weekend. By yesterday afternoon, temperatures climbed close to 70 degrees.
That's true, Elene, but just like the last few weeks, the weather is staying unpredictable. And once again, it looks like some changes are headed our way. Let's take a look at the MCTV forecast. Windy conditions have once again made a return to campus today, even though we've seen quite a bit of sunshine on the MCTV tower cam. It's been accompanied by a brown hue as dust has picked up in the air. Temperatures have risen to around 60 degrees this afternoon, but with the wind, it still feels a bit cooler. But later tonight, those winds will push a storm front through our area, with a chance of rain starting in the late evening. Rain totals are expected to be light, but any moisture would be helpful as the South Plains remains in drought conditions. According to the U.S. Drought Monitor, all the counties in our area are still very dry, with drought levels ranging from moderate to extreme. Currently, Lubbock County is mostly in the severe category, with the far northwestern corner listed as moderate. Tomorrow, the rain chances will be out of the forecast, but the windy conditions will continue through the day. Wind speeds are expected to range from 25 to 40 miles per hour, and gusts could reach up to 50 miles per hour. Tomorrow's highs are supposed to be back in the 60s, but the wind chill will keep it feeling as much as 10 to 15 degrees cooler throughout the day. The windy weather will continue into Wednesday with another day of high winds and gusts of up to 50. Highs also will reach 60 again, but overnight temperatures are expected to drop into the low 20s, with wind chills reaching the single digits. Luckily, this Thursday, the winds will die down, but a cold front will take their place. Temperatures will be much cooler, with highs only making it into the 40s by Thursday afternoon. Looking ahead, the midweek drop in temperatures should be short-lived, with a rebound in highs coming up by the end of the week.
The 2022-2023 men's basketball season has not met the expectations of many fans, especially after the team started Big 12 play. The Red Raiders have only won 2 games against conference opponents, but many students head out to the United Supermarkets Arena each home game to cheer on the team. Tonight, Texas Tech will take on the University of Texas in what could be one of the last matchups between the two teams for the foreseeable future. Students hoping to have seats close to the floor began camping out for tonight's game over the weekend. The scene outside the west side of the USA is similar to last year, with tents lining the sidewalk. But there's a lot less tents than a year ago, when hundreds of students waited for the chance to heckle former head coach Chris Beard, who took off to coach the Longhorns in 2021. Beard is no longer at UT after being arrested for physically assaulting his girlfriend last fall. But the rivalry appears to be continuing, even with a new head coach leading the Longhorns.
The men's basketball team isn't the only group of Red Raiders making headlines right now. A couple other teams are also getting some attention, along with a former Red Raider who is once again being recognized on football's biggest stage.
MCTV's Natalie DuPre joins us now in studio with all the details in sports. Natalie?
Thanks, Elena and Grace. This past weekend was a great one for Texas Tech athletics as we take a look at men's basketball, tennis, and the track and field team. Last Thursday, the men's basketball team took on the number 12 Kansas State Wildcats. Davian Harmon led the team with a total of 20 points, followed by Lamar Washington with 13. The teams played back and forth during the beginning of the game, but Tech held on to a lead going into halftime. Throughout the second half of the game, Kansas State came within 1 point multiple times. However, in the end of this close matchup, Texas Tech came out on top 71-63 and boosted morale just in time for the upcoming UT game tonight at 8 o'clock in the United Supermarkets Arena. Speaking of exciting games, Texas Tech men's tennis swept both UT Rio Grande Valley and ACU this weekend with their singles and doubles matches. The Red Raiders started the game out strong with duo Isaac Arevalo and Tyler Stewart getting a dominant 6-2 victory against UTRGV on Court 3, followed by another victory on Court 2 by Franco Ribeiro and Piotr Pollock. Freshman Lorenzo Esquizzi secured his second match win of the season when he beat Augustine Salazar at court 6, 6-1, 6-1. Later in the day, Esquizzi had quite the comeback in this matchup against ACU Wildcat Benjamin McDonald, where he was down 3-5 in his first set, but then went on to win the next 4 straight games to claim it 7-5. He finished the match quickly after the second set, defeating McDonald 7-5, 6-3, and ending the day on a high note with everyone winning their respective games. The Tech track and field team had another record-setting meet this weekend. On Friday, freshman Antoine Andrews broke a nearly 13-year-old record at the Jarvis Scott Open. Andrews ran a time of 7.59 seconds in the 60-meter hurdles to set the record and win. Andrews' time puts him at number 2 in the country, 1 spot ahead of teammate Caleb Dean, who ran 7.61 seconds last weekend. Rosemary Chukwama is also setting the school record in the 200-meter on Saturday, running a time of 22.82 seconds. Not only did current Texas Tech athletes have an exceptional weekend, but former Red Raider quarterback and 2022 NFL MVP Patrick Mahomes made Texas Tech proud this past Super Bowl Sunday by securing his second Super Bowl trophy against the Philadelphia Eagles 38-35. He became the 13th quarterback in the NFL to win more than 1 Super Bowl, and Mahomes even took home the Super Bowl MVP award. I think it's safe to say that spirits are high here in Raiderland after this weekend. That's all for sports. Back to you, Elena and Grace.
Thanks, Natalie. Texas Tech athletics gets a lot of attention here on campus, with major sports like football, basketball, volleyball, and soccer. But there's at least a dozen more sports that compete every semester that you may not even know happen here on campus.
The university's rec center hosts intramural sports with teams of students from here on campus. But there's also several club sports that team up and compete against competition outside of the hub city. One of Tech's club sports is the men's rugby team. TTU Rugby has been competing for years, but many members of the campus community don't even know the team exists. The rugby club is trying to increase awareness by promoting their games through campus resources such as Tech Announce. This past weekend, Tech Rugby hosted Baylor's Club in Urbanovsky Park, just east of the USA. The week before, Texas A&M made a trip to town to take on the TTU team. The men's rugby team plans to continue its conference schedule into the spring, and all of the home games are free and open to the public. To follow the team and find out about their next matchup, you can follow them by searching for Texas Tech Rugby on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. So, Elena, did you know that Texas Tech had club sports like the rugby team?
Yes, I did, but I didn't know that they had Instagram page, so I have to check that out. What about you?
I didn't know either, actually. I've got to look it up.
Okay, good.
But that's all for today's edition of the MCTV Weekday Update.
Thanks so much for joining us, and be sure to check ttuhub.net every day for more news. We'll see you on Thursday.